All right, how's everybody doing out there in Math Magic Land? Hope my math fleets are doing all right. This is Miss Muscarella coming at you, and in this video, I'm going to show you guys the differences between factors and zeros. Kind of how to find, if you're given a factor, how to find that zero, and the differences between them. So all right, let's take a look and see what these things are. So a factor, very simply, is just a linear expression. That's it. Linear expression. Now, a zero is going to be a specific location on the x-axis. So let's go ahead and just get right into a couple of examples here. So you could have a linear expression like this. Say you have x plus 5. Now I'm going to put parentheses around it because a lot of times when you're factoring different polynomials, you'll put parentheses around the factor. So x plus 5. Now the location on the x-axis, I'm going to do this on the side. So if I take that expression, x plus 5, set that equal to 0, then I would come up of a value of -5. So that location would be x equals -5. And make sure you write it as x equals -5, because that identifies the very specific x coordinate of that location for the linear expression x plus 5. Now remember, a couple things you may remember from earlier classes. Zeros are also called roots. That's another name for them. And they're also called x-intercepts. So x-intercepts, roots, zeros, they mean the same thing. And every once in a while, you may see the word solutions. So anytime those words are used interchangeably by your math teachers in textbooks and websites and all the things. So understand when you see the word zero, it also means the same thing as those other terms. So I think you'll be okay on that. Now let's take a look at another linear expression. So say you had x plus 4. X plus 4. With that, and I think you can do this, because if you notice, if you were to solve this, you can do that mentally. X plus 4 equals 0, you would end up with -4. Now notice how the signs are opposite of your linear expression and your location on the x-axis, your zero. So your factors and zeros have opposite signs, right? So say if you had x minus 1, that was your linear expression, then of course you would get x equals +1. Because again, the signs are going to be opposites. Now there's always one tricky one. There's going to be one tricky one, and that's for the zero. So I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to say, all right, you have a zero of 0. So that means it's going to pass through the origin, through the x-axis, and where the x and y-axis meet. In this case, your linear expression is just plain old x. That's it. Now, don't write it like this, x plus 0. Don't write it like that, or don't write it as x minus 0. So don't write it either one of those two ways, because that's not the correct way that factor gets written. Now, every once in a while, you may end up with a linear expression, because all of these, notice these first several examples, your slope was 1. So if you look at the coefficient in front of x, slope is 1. However, you could, so I'm going to do another one here. So say we've got another one, and you have 2x minus 3. Say you end up with that as a linear expression when you're doing your factoring. Well, that's all right, no big deal. Now I'm going to do this over on the side because you should be able to do this mentally, but if you can't, all you do is you take that factor, so 2x minus 3, set it equal to 0, you'll get 2x equals 3, and then when you divide, you'll get x equals 3 over 2. So the 0, the location on the x-axis would be 3/2. Now if you want to change that to a decimal, cool, knock yourself out. But those are the different things that you could do for that. So you could either have x equals 3/2 or x equals 1.5. Either one of them means the same thing. But again, notice the sign in your linear expression is opposite the sign of the 0 in your answer. All right, so that's it for this short video. I hope you guys have a great day, and you're wonderful, amazing. Go out and do some great things, and I will catch up with you later. Peace out, Cub Scouts.